She just wanted to wish them a happy anniversary. But they slammed the door in her face, declaring, "We've decided you're not family anymore." I didn't break down right there. Didn't scream or beg. Instead, I pulled out my phone. And within 30 minutes, their precious celebration lay in ruins. I was Emily Thompson, 45 years old, a senior consultant at Ridgewood Advisors in our quiet Massachusetts suburb, mother to a sharp-witted 19-year-old daughter, and married to a steady high school teacher who'd earned my parents' reluctant nod. I'd clawed my way to stability despite the cracks in my foundation, or so I thought, until that crisp October afternoon when the old scars ripped open wide, reminding me that blood ties can bleed you dry. The invitation had landed in my mailbox 6 weeks prior, all fancy embossed silver on ivory paper. Robert and Eleanor Wright request the pleasure of your company to celebrate 40 years of wedded bliss. My mother's elegant script on the envelope, sharp as her criticisms. I'd held it. That familiar twist in my gut tightening like a noose whenever my original family intruded on the life I'd pieced together. "We ought to go," Michael had suggested, peering over my shoulder. He'd only been tangled in this mess for 4 years, still holding out hope that bridges could mend what resentment had burned. 40 years is a big deal. My daughter, Ava, had been even more insistent when I phoned her at her design college in New York. "Mom, we have to. When else will Nana and Pops hit another milestone like this?" Her voice bubbled with that innocent optimism I'd lost long ago, before realizing some affections came stamped with expiration dates. I should have listened to that inner voice, the one whispering that in the right family, gatherings were just stages for showing off. And not every role was equal. But Ava's enthusiasm chipped away at my walls. She'd poured hours into a custom digital slideshow, pulling old photos and weaving in her own designs to honor their decades together, squeezing it in between late-night studio sessions. "I'll catch a train Friday evening," she'd promised. "I want to surprise them by showing up early. Maybe if I arrive solo, not as your tag-along. They'll see me for me. My girl." Still chasing a seat at a table that should have been hers without question. The anniversary bash dawned bright and biting in Willow Creek, the sort of fall day that painted our upscale neighborhood like a glossy magazine spread. Michael fiddled with his tie for the 4th time as I ironed out my charcoal gray dress, the one my mother had once deemed appropriate. "You look stunning," he said, brushing a kiss on my forehead. "Ease up on the worry." But I couldn't shake the unease clawing at my chest. Ava hadn't replied to my good morning text. Probably just hit snooze. I reasoned design students weren't exactly early birds. The Willow Creek Country Club gleamed like always, starched linens, sparkling stemware catching the sun, orchids spilling from every vase. My mother's signature touch. James's sleek BMW already sat in the lot, my older brother, the eternal early bird, locking in his spot as the favored son. Sarah hurried up as we walked in, her toddlers in tow, arms full with a gift bag and sippy cups. My younger sister looked frazzled but genuine, the family's peacemaker. "Has Ava shown?" Mom's been asking. "She's coming on her own," I said, taking the bag from her. "Should be here soon." But as cocktails flowed and guests filed in for the seated dinner, that pit in my stomach deepened to a chasm. I slipped outside to call her, peering through the grand windows at my parents holding court, basking in toasts from their circle of old money friends. Ava's line went to voicemail, and that's when I spotted her hunched in her rideshare car in the parking lot, still in the sapphire blue dress we'd chosen over video call. The one that made her hazel eyes pop, even from across the asphalt. Her trembling shoulders screamed heartbreak. I bolted in my heels and sensible gray dress, sprinting over that manicured green like the world was ending. "Ava." I flung open the passenger door and slid in beside her. "Sweetheart. What happened?" She lifted her head, and my soul cracked. Mascara tracked down her cheeks. But it was the defeat in her gaze that gutted me, like she'd aged a decade in an hour. I'm fine, Mom, she said. Her tone too even. Too controlled. Go back inside. Enjoy the party. Ava, talk to me. She drew a ragged breath. Knuckles white on the wheel though the engine was off. I got here around 2. I was buzzing with nerves but excited. I had their gift ready. That slideshow on my tablet. And I'd rehearsed on the train, telling them about my portfolio review. Landing on the dean's list. My heart sank like lead. What did they do? I stopped at their house first, figuring I'd ride over with them. Nana opened the door. And for a split second, she looked off. Not glad to see you off. More like she'd bitten into something sour. I went to hug her, but she stepped back. Pops appeared behind her, and they just stared. Then Nana said. Ava's voice broke. She said, "We've decided you're not family anymore." Like it was nothing. Like canceling a gym membership. The words punched me square in the chest. I'd heard echoes of them 2 decades back, when I dared to marry outside their approved circle. But aimed at my daughter, my vibrant, resilient, always trying daughter, it lit a fuse in me that burned straight to rage. I didn't fight it, Ava went on. What for? I just said, okay, and turned around. They shut the door before I even hit the driveway. Ava, don't apologize for them. Mom. She met my eyes. Fierce now. I'm sick of us all acting like this is okay. Like it's normal. She was spot on. And it stung. God. It stung. I fished out my phone, thumbing through contacts to the one I'd noted 3 weeks ago. Just in case. Tyler Brooks from Event Capture Media. The video crew we'd booked to film the whole shindig. My mother had demanded every moment preserved for their legacy. Tyler. Emily Thompson. Are the cameras up? Yes. Ma'am. Started at 2. Got some nice setup shots. Anything from the parking lot around 2:30? A beat. Yeah. One of my techs was grabbing exteriors. He flagged an odd exchange at the entrance. Haven't checked it yet. My voice hardened. Colder than the autumn air. Pull whatever you have. I want it all. And be prepped to roll raw footage on my cue. MS. Thompson. I'm not sure I'm footing the bill. Right? Double it. Just be ready. I hung up and turned to Ava. This incredible young woman with my determination and her father's quiet strength. Mom. What are you planning? What I should have done ages ago. I said. Trust me? Her smile was faint. Fractured. But true. Always. Then come with me. Chin up. You belong in there more than they ever did. And if they can't grasp that, everyone else will. We crossed that lawn arm in arm. My daughter and I. Toward the sparkling facade of a 40-year union rooted in exclusion and control. Through the glass. My mother tittered at some quip. My father clinked glasses. They had no clue their scripted show was about to derail. Standing there with Ava, gazing at their polished performance. My mind rewound 25 years. I was 20. Home from state college for Thanksgiving. Squeezed into a sweater my mother had suggested because my choices were never quite right. Emily. Don't slouch, she'd snapped. Straightening me like a prop. James is bringing his Yale girl. Try not to embarrass. I'd faded into the background that night. Sandwiched between James's accolades and Sarah's cuteness. When I mentioned my GPA bump, my father had murmured, "Good for you," before pivoting back to James's med school prospects. The real fracture hit later. With Alex. He was a mechanic fixing up the campus garage. And I'd bumped into him, literally spilling his toolbox while dashing to lecture. Where my crowd would have sneered. Alex just grinned. That's one hell of an entrance. He was the antithesis of my parents, warm against their chill, authentic amid their artifice. An orphan who'd bootstrapped his way up. He saw me as Emily, not the middle child runner-up. When I brought him home 6 months in, the dining room turned arctic. A mechanic, my mother had drawled, laced with scorn. How? Practical. But love trumped their veto. We eloped at City Hall with Sarah and a couple buddies. My parents mailed a generic card, no congrats. Just receipt of the news. Ava's pregnancy thawed them a touch, a grandkid was optics gold. They swung by the hospital with a pricey engraved spoon she never touched. In the snapshots, their grins looked pasted on. The charade held for 3 years. Then Alex skidded out on a slick Monday commute to the shop. Gone in an instant. At the graveside. As I clutched Ava's tiny hand, numb with loss, my mother cornered me. Well, she sighed. Like scheduling brunch. At least now you can rejoin us properly. We'll find you someone fitting. I blinked at her. Reeling. Fitting? Don't dramatize, Emily. You know, from our level. This little detour's over. Then the dagger. If you keep dragging this blue-collar act, you're not really one of us. Are you? I'd scooped Ava and bolted. For years. We hovered on the edges, summoned for holidays, but never embraced. Posed in photos, but cropped at the margins. I convinced myself scraps were better than starvation. That Ava needed some tie to her roots. Flawed as they were. What a delusion. Patterns loop. Right? They'd tolerated my slip their code for Ava when they whispered. They'd nodded at Michael because he had a degree. Even if it was just teaching. We performed our roles. Showing face. Faking smiles. Ignoring the rot. But Ava's sin was breathing. Embodying my defiance. The man they'd dismissed. And now, echoing their rejection of me, they'd barred her. The twist? I'd been young. Starving for scraps. Ava was forged tougher. Grasping what took me years. Conditional love isn't love, it's leverage. You good? Mom? Ava's voice yanked me back. I studied her, Alex's eyes. My resolve. Her unyielding spark, and felt the embers flare into inferno. The fire I'd smothered for peace. Better than good, I said. And believed it. Let's show them what real family looks like. We strode through those club doors. Shoulders squared. Primed to shatter the cycle of selective affection. Because sometimes mending means scorching it clean. The ballroom's vibe shifted the second we crossed the threshold. Chatter faltered. Eyes darted. My mother's flawless poise glitching to irritation before smoothing over. Eleanor Wright never cracked in public. Emily. Finally, she cooed. James cut us off. His lawyer grin locked in. Mom thought you'd vanished. And Ava didn't expect you. Why not? I probed. My tone slicing just enough to unsettle him. Michael materialized at my side. Brow furrowed, he'd clocked my exit and Ava's red eyes. All set. Couldn't be better, I said, gripping his hand. Ava just needed a breather post-travel. Jet lag's a beast. We hit our table number 8. Near enough for show. Distant for rank. Sarah shot me a puzzled glance from table 4. I shook my head hold. Cocktails dragged on in agonizing pretense. Ava stuck close. Her mask slipping as well-wishers probed about college. Her designs. Her grandparents' pride. Each probe twisted deeper. Ava. Han. My mother's tennis pal gushed. Eleanor's been raving about your showcase. She's bursting with pride. Ava's smile didn't reach her eyes. I'm sure, she replied. Grace masking the wound. By salad service. My resolve hardened like steel. I excused myself for the powder room and cornered Tyler near the podium. Tweaking lights. Got that footage? He nodded. Uneasy. Reviewed it during drinks. it captures. Well, your folks turning away a young lady at the door. Audio's crystal. Perfect. Cue it for the screen. Technically feasible. But I'm accountable. Signal on my word. Back at the table. My father rose for his ritual speech. His CEO timbre commanding silence. Eleanor and I are grateful you're here. 40 years isn't easy. But our family's love made it possible. Ava stiffened at family. Our kids are our pride, he swept on. Nodding to James. Sarah. Then us, like an afterthought. Seeing them thrive. Build lives, it's our greatest gift. I rose then. Dad. Since we're toasting family, let's share a captured moment from earlier. Tyler? My father's brow creased. My mother went rigid. Emily. What lights dipped? The screen ignited. High-def truth. Club entrance at 2:30. Ava approaching. Gift in hand. Hope radiant. My parents barring the way. The terse words. Eleanor's lips shaping. We've decided you're not family anymore. The slam. Ava alone. Retreating with poise that masked devastation. Whispers exploded. Gasps. Utensils clanged. Kill it, my mother hissed. But I was at the mic. That woman? My daughter. Your granddaughter. She traveled hours to honor you. And you shut her out. Emily. This isn't, my father barked. One is. When she's 30. 40. Forever doubting her worth. I scan the room, childhood acquaintances. Witnesses to our glossed-over fractures. Her only fault? Being born to a father you scorned. A decent man. Devoted. Without your status or wealth. Dead 16 years. Yet you penalize her for it. Sarah stood. Tears flowing. Emily's right. We faked normalcy too long. It's toxic. Sit. Sarah, our mother ordered. But she didn't. No. I'm tired of the hurt disguised as tradition. She herded her kids to our table. Hubby trailing. Stunned but solid. It unraveled fast. James played fixer. Urging calm. Guests trickled out, others gawked. My mother sat petrified. Her gala crumbling. But my focus locked on Ava, her gaze shifted from love to alliance. I wasn't just mom, I was her shield. Torching threats. The screen blinked. But the shatter lingered. In the glaring lights. My parents' veneer lay shredded. 40 years. 6 figures in planning. Decades of facade, obliterated by 30 seconds of honesty. You've wrecked it all, James snarled. Looming at our table. His polish peeled. Exposing venom. Know the cost. The event? Or the lies? I countered. Facing him. Don't play smart. Emily. Always too smart. He wheeled on Ava. And you? Couldn't stay gone? Message not clear. James. Sarah snapped. Hear yourself. Michael interposed. Calm barrier. Everyone. Breathe. Don't dictate my family, your family. I cut in. Hilarious. When'd you last call Ava? A card? Acknowledge her beyond these farces. Phones filmed the fallout ironic. Given the pro crew they'd bankrolled. My mother rose. Voice slicing. Folks. Sorry for the scene. Family matter, private. Private? My laugh bittered. Like deeming my daughter non-family privately? Making her feel lesser her life. Hysterical, she wavered. No, honest. Rare in 40 years. Staff hovered. Confused. Band silent. Pure drama. Unscripted. Questions flew. My mother's golf buddy rose. Eleanor. True? You rejected your grandkid. Complicated, not at all. She grabbed her bag. Blood's blood. Exits multiplied. Some pausing to console Ava. Decry the cruelty. Each goodbye chipped the mask. This your goal? James accused. Humiliate them? They did it, Sarah murmured. Emily stopped the cover-up. Tyler neared. MS. Thompson. Payment Bill James, I boomed. He's family finances now. Since Ava and I aren't. Our shares are his tab. James flushed crimson. The bash? Lavish, venue. Ensemble. Blooms. Feast for 200. Sarah and I'd chipped 20 grand each, sans us. 60 for a flop under 2 hours. Can't, I flashed my reverse transfer. Watch me. Sarah? Cancelled mine, she said. Phone up. The arithmetic hit him, the star sun. Burdened by a dud events debt. My mother slumped. Catastrophe sinking in. How could you? How could you to Ava? I fired. 19. Brilliant. Compassionate, chasing love owed by right. Child of that. Mechanic, my father sneered. His name was Alex, Ava interjected. Voice steady. Alex Hayes. Fixed cars. Told stories. Taught biking. Loved mom wholly. Would have loved me without strings, unlike you. Words suspended. Irreversible. We offered chances, my mother faltered. Included you. Tolerated, Ava amended. Big difference. Room near vacant, us. Staff. Melting centerpiece. Stale bubbly. We're out, I declared. No holidays. No birthdays. No acts. You pick family? Live it. We exited en masse, Michael. Ava. Sarah's crew. Me, into the brisk night. Lungs expanding. Damn, Sarah's husband. Chris. Exhaled. That real. Language, Sarah reflexed. Eyeing kids. Then chuckled raggedly. Screw it. We nuked decades of BS. Earned some swears. Mom'll implode. Sarah leaned on their SUV. Gossip's wildfire by dawn. Good, I said. Fierce. Shame might force what talks couldn't. Ava. Silent till then. Eyed me awestruck. You played that clip for everyone. Overdue, I confessed. Should have shielded you sooner. Don't should have. You did now. Counts. Phones buzzed, James demanding fixes. I powered down. Now what? Chris asked. Holidays. Gatherings, we craft ours, Michael said. Quit squeezing into their frame. Build one that fits. Sarah teared. Grinning. Funniest? I've hated every reunion for years, watching Ava sidelined. You shrinking under mom's jabs. Thought, family first, 4 kids. But what lessens that? Her son. 6-year-old Liam. Tugged. Why'd Nana hurt Ava? Sarah knelt. Some folks get stuck on proper and forget love. Not okay. Don't want to go if she's mean, Liam stated plain. Kids get it, Michael muttered. We piled into a greasy spoon diner. 8 squished in a booth for 6. Buzzing lights. Worn seats, worlds from club chic. But the warmth authentic. To family, Michael toasted with coffee. Chosen kind. To torched bridges, Sarah clinked. To fresh starts, Ava whispered. We lingered till closing. Mapping new rituals, Thanksgiving at Sarah's. Christmas ours. Birthdays with real cheer. Terrifying. Thrilling like free fall into flight. As we split, Ava pulled me close. Thanks, not just tonight. But picking me. Know the toll. I held her, inhaling her scent. This gift I'd raised. Toll? Just shed illusions overdue. Love you, she murmured. You too. Kid. No conditions. Eternal, like family ought. The bell chimed at 7:15 next morning. Peephole confirmed, my mother on the stoop. Pristine despite likely 0 sleep. Clutching an ivory envelope. Emily, she said as I cracked the door. We talk. No. But she breezed in. Something for Ava. Private. She's asleep. Lie, Ava and Michael hushed in the kitchen. I'll wait, she perched regal. Mom. Your father doesn't know. Nor James. Us only. Ava emerged. PJs and all. Spine straight. Up. Nana. What? My mother's facade twitched at Nana. A letter, envelope proffered. To clarify. No need, Ava didn't budge. Action spoke. Please, vulnerability peaked first in memory. Read. Ava eyed me, I nodded her call. She took it. Unopened. That it? Thought we'd discuss. Clear the mix-up. Mix-up. I burst. On tape, not family. Clear. Nuanced, mask returned. Factors. Not your factors, Ava said. Not mad. Nana. Done. Difference. You're young. Families compromise. I get it. You've compromised me forever, my worth for your ease. I'm no bargain chip. My mother pivoted to me. Edge desperate. Emily. This escalated. Videos viral. We're monsters. Club suspended us. Dad's partners probe. Good, I echoed. Good. She rose. Affronted. Ruined our name over a slip. 19's no slip, I noted. You ruined it. We quit concealing. Michael sauntered in. Mug out. Coffee before leaving. Mrs. Right? Polite eject. She clutched her bag. Shreds of pride. Not finished. When rational years thought, I said. Ditching conditional scraps beats none. At the door. Trump card, the will. Emily. Substantial loss. Keep it. Price too steep. Post-departure. Ava unsealed the letter. We scanned excuses, shifts, guilts. Conditional olive branch if Ava respected heritage. She torched it in the sink. Better? Michael asked. Yeah, she grinned. Chapter closed. By lunch. Kin network hummed, opinions. Alliances. Most backed parents, wealth guards wealth. But shocks, cousin Lisa texted solidarity. Dad's assistant praised my poise. James' voicemail raged, suits. Slander. Distress. Forwarded to my attorney pal, precaution. Sarah arrived with pizza. Kids gaming. Us venting sans parents. Relaxedest kin time in decades. Best? Sarah said. Wiping plates. No dread holidays. No placements hiding Ava. No outfit critiques. No James's superiority as banter. No bit parts in their show, I added. Leads now. Ava pondered. Wait for guilt. But free instead. You are, I affirmed. We all. That eve. Ava sketched vivid. Unrestrained. Title. Not family anymore, she mused. Turn poison to beauty. Watching her alchemize hurt to strength. I knew, right path. Sometimes loving means ceasing pleas for reciprocity. Mom, she said. Brush mid-stroke. We'll thrive. Right? More, I vowed. Authentic. 3 weeks on. Dust reshaped our norm. Video faded from feeds. But ripples lingered, bonds severed. Forged. James's suits fizzled, truth trumps libel. Club reinstated parents post-donation. Cash whispers. But the bomb, Sarah's late-night text. See email. Forwarded from James, parents' revised will. Post-party date. All to him, estate. Stocks. Heirlooms. Sarah and I? Vanished from pages. Well, Michael over my shoulder. Efficient. No pang, just validation. Inked proof of priorities. Sarah called. Cackling. Page 15. James gets photo albums, one's airbrushing Ava out. His fiction now, I said. Ava shrugged. Never counted on it. Cosmos chuckled, days later. My mother's ex-tennis pal called. Emily. Horrified by the party. Revising my will, include Ava. Artists need backing, not loan. Disillusioned elites reached out, not always cash, but ties. Ava gained surrogate grands keen on her work. Dreams. Inevitable clash. Thanksgiving at Sarah's. Turkey frying backyard, our mothered call tacky. James at door. Sent to invite. Parents open to mend if public apology for shame. No, Sarah and I synced. Reasonable? Ditching blood for ego. Choosing bonds over genes, Ava clarified. Difference. James sneered. Crawl back when won't I shut. You won, fortune. Status. Solo kid. Savor. No cheers from us. He peeled out to their sparse table. Lone heir to conditional empire. Our spread? Rowdy, kids battling legs. Chris's puns. Pup scavenging. Messy. Flawed. Flawless. Toast, Michael raised. To chosen kin. Choosing back. To needed fires, Sarah added. To shut doors opening better, Ava said. To not family, our true home, I closed. Glasses chimed, wine. Juice. Ava's craft fizz. Tomorrow, hurdles. Evolutions. Redeaths of kin. Tonight. Enveloped in unconditional choice. We were rooted. My mother aired, true family endures exposure. It reveals illusions. And in bold exit. You claim the kin earned all along.